When Lewis Hamilton signed with Ferrari for the 2025 season, it wasn't just a career move, it was a statement, a declaration that he was ready to risk legacy for redemption. The real prize wasn't 2025, it was 2026, the dawn of a new Formula One era with radical engine regulations, equal electric combustion power balance, and sustainable fuels. For Hamilton, this was the perfect storm to make history, but 10 races in, the storm is already tearing through Maranello. 0 wins, 79 points, a Ferrari car that looks allergic to consistency. Meanwhile, back in Brackley, George Russell, Hamilton's former protege, cruises to a Canadian Grand Prix victory and 5 podiums with 136 points to his name. Hamilton left Mercedes doubting their future, but what if he miscalculated? What if the team he abandoned is once again building the ultimate weapon for the next era, while Ferrari quietly drowns in its own uncertainty? And what if the choice that was meant to bring glory was actually the first nail in the coffin? Formula One history doesn't just repeat, it echoes through the pit walls. In 2014, while rivals scrambled with new V6 hybrids, Mercedes unleashed a power unit so dominant it rewrote the sport's balance of power. Now, in 2026, with another seismic regulation shift, those echoes are getting louder. The new rules promise lighter cars and a 50-50 electric-to-combustion power split, doubling the demand on electrical systems. Gone is the MGU-H, and in comes fully sustainable fuel. It's a clean slate, but some slates are already being filled in. In the paddock, one name keeps surfacing: Mercedes. Despite George Russell dismissing the hype as nonsense, whispers persist. Suppliers like McLaren, Williams, and Alpine aren't just customers, they're data feeds, and behind the scenes, Brackley's hybrid team is unusually quiet. Too quiet. This silence isn't confidence, it's calculation. And Ferrari? They're not leading the charge. They're chasing shadows, unsure if what they're building will ignite or implode. Inside Maranello, optimism is wearing thin. The 2026 engine, once hailed as Ferrari's redemption arc, is now a source of internal tension. Sources close to the project describe chaotic simulations, with engineers battling thermal inefficiencies and unpredictable electric delivery. The dream of a revolutionary hybrid system? Fading. The removal of the MGU-H was supposed to level the field, but in Ferrari's case, it exposed a structural weakness, an over-reliance on combustion tuning and an underdeveloped electric strategy. And while Enrico Gualtieri publicly talks of progress, insiders whisper of shifting targets and political infighting between powertrain and chassis divisions. The big reveal? Ferrari will also supply engines to Haas and Cadillac in 2026. On paper, it sounds like confidence. In reality, it may be desperation, a way to test reliability through volume while hiding uncertainties behind satellite teams. And as the clock ticks, one truth grows clearer. Hamilton didn't join a rising empire. He may have walked into a storm no one can steer. The 2026 regulations were designed to bring balance, to open the door for fresh contenders. And while Audi and Red Bull appear eager to challenge the status quo, the reality behind their power unit projects tells a more sobering story. Red Bull Powertrains, working with Ford, is reportedly ahead in electric systems, but still wrestling with thermal management and battery cooling under race conditions. Audi, meanwhile, has the infrastructure and budget, but their Nürburgring engine facility lacks race-proven integration. In short, both are fast learners, but still learning. Yet even amid their uncertainties, Ferrari's situation appears worse. Paddock murmurs suggest that Red Bull and Audi will at least field competitive engines. Ferrari, by contrast, is described as undefined. Not slow, not fast, just uncertain. In F1, ambiguity is the most dangerous place to be. And Hamilton? He didn't sign up to be part of an experiment, but that's exactly what 2026 is shaping up to be. Not a comeback, but a test lab, one where the results may come too late. At first glance, Ferrari's 2026 engine customer list looks like a power move. Supplying Haas and the new Cadillac F1 entry, that's reach, influence, and technical validation, right? Not quite. Dig deeper, and the cracks widen. Cadillac, still years away from building its own power unit, will rely entirely on Ferrari's engine until 2029. But insiders suggest this partnership wasn't built from Ferrari's strength. It was born out of urgency, a way to gain mileage, data, and political leverage in FIA engine discussions. Ferrari needs Cadillac to succeed because it needs someone else to validate the unknown. Haas too plays a role, a secondary testbed to experiment with energy recovery and cooling without risking the main team's already fragile performance. But here's the twist, none of this helps Hamilton. He won't be driving a Cadillac or a Haas. He's in the red flagship, And if that ship sinks, it takes him with it. What Ferrari calls a customer strategy may just be a smokescreen, and behind it, a factory scrambling to make sense of an engine that still refuses to roar. In theory, Lewis Hamilton joined Ferrari to be more than a driver. He came to shape the future, but in practice, his influence in Maranello is thinner than expected. Those close to the team describe a structure still locked in tradition, where decisions come from committees, not champions. Hamilton's feedback, while respected, is filtered through layers of politics. His vision for a responsive, driver-centric power unit clashes with Ferrari's obsession for control and hierarchy. While Mercedes used to adapt around Hamilton's instinctive style, Ferrari expects adaptation to flow in one direction, toward the machine. Even more troubling, Hamilton's early testing sessions revealed a discomfort that was never fully addressed. His radio silence during certain stints wasn't focus. It was frustration. The car's hybrid engagement was inconsistent. The rear axle under regen behaved unpredictably, and yet no clear fix emerged. He came to build, but now Hamilton looks more like a passenger aboard a ship that doesn't hear the captain. While Ferrari wrestles with ghosts of its own making, Mercedes is quietly scripting a sequel to 2014, and this time the script is tighter, colder, more clinical. They've been here before, starting early, keeping quiet, and unleashing dominance when the lights go out. Brackley has already integrated lessons from the 2022-2024 porpoising fiasco. Their 2026 chassis is being designed alongside the power unit, not after. And their battery system, rumored to use an advanced regenerative cycle developed with aerospace partners, is sending shockwaves through the tech side of the paddock. Even more crucial, Mercedes now has data coming in from 3 teams. Every kilometer logged by McLaren, Williams, and Alpine feeds back to Brixworth. It's not just a factory team, it's an intelligence network. George Russell's confidence isn't arrogance, it's awareness. He knows the machine around him is starting to click again. And for Hamilton, who once built that empire, watching it rise without him may be the bitterest twist of all. Lewis Hamilton didn't come to Ferrari for podiums, he came for immortality, the elusive 8th title, the poetic finale. But with each race, that dream feels less like destiny and more like a gamble that's turning sour. He left Mercedes believing their era was over. But what if it was just a pause? What if the team he helped build is about to dominate again, without him? And what if Ferrari's 2026 vision isn't a masterpiece in progress, but a blueprint gone wrong? The silence from Maranello isn't discipline, it's fear. The paddock senses it. Engineers whisper it. Rivals watch it unfold. Hamilton still has time, but not much. The 2026 reset was supposed to level the playing field. Instead, it may redraw the lines, separating those who guessed right from those who hoped too hard. This is no longer just about performance, it's about legacy. And for Hamilton, the question is no longer can he win with Ferrari, but did he just make the final fatal move of his legendary career?